Chapter 3. The Mission Assembled. Dawn arrives without mercy. Light spills through the narrow windows of my chamber in thin, accusing bands, painting the stone floor in pale gold. The sight of it twists something in my chest. Dawn has always been Solyn's hour. Judgment made visible, clarity reborn each morning. Today, it feels like an interrogation lamp. I did not sleep. My armor rests on its stand where I left it, polished to a mirror sheen, the sigil of the Radiant Tribunal etched clean and sharp across the breastplate. I stare at it longer than necessary. There was a time when putting it on felt like stepping into certainty itself. Now it looks heavy, expectant, like it already knows what it wants me to do. I dress in silence, each buckle and strap sounding too loud in the small room. When I fasten my sword belt, my hand hesitates at the hilt. The weapon hums faintly beneath my fingers, a relic blessed during my first year as a full paladin, forged to channel Solyn's judgment without hesitation. I swallow and force my hand away. By the time I leave my quarters, the tribunal is fully awake. The inner halls echo with measured footsteps. The rhythm of disciplined movement that once comforted me. White and gold robes glide past. Scribes hurry with scrolls tucked tight against their chests. Paladins nod to one another in solemn greeting. None of them know. Or perhaps some do and simply do not speak of it. That thought unsettles me more than the silence. The summons comes as expected. A junior adjutant intercepts me near the Hall of Concordance, bowing sharply. High Justicar Malric requests your presence immediately, Sir Caelan. Requests, as if refusal were a meaningful concept. I am on my way, I reply. The doors to the Hall of Concordance stand open, sunlight pouring through the vaulted ceiling and refracting through crystal inlays. The crescent-shaped table gleams, its surface unmarred, its perfection almost obscene. High Justicar Malric stands at its head, hands folded calmly behind his back, gaze fixed on the light scattering across the marble floor. He turns as I enter. Sir Caelan Dawnspear, he says smoothly, you look tired. I prayed late, I answer truthfully, carefully, as we all have, he replies. His eyes linger on me for a fraction of a second too long. Come, sit. I take the seat he indicates, my back straight, hands resting atop my knees. The posture is second nature. It does not reflect the turmoil inside me. You received a vision, Malric says. Not a question. Yes, I reply. From Solyn? The moment stretches. Yes, I say again. True enough, depending on how one defines the word from. Malric nods, satisfied. Good, then we may speak plainly. He circles the table slowly, the soft whisper of his robes echoing in the vast chamber. The divine stream has been unsettled of late. You are not the first paladin to report unusual sensations during prayer. Delays, distortions. I keep my expression neutral. My pulse pounds. But your vision, he continues, was clearer than most, directional, purposeful. I say nothing. He stops across from me. You were sent to Emberfall. Yes, to attend the oracle. The word oracle seems to catch in the air between us, heavy with implication. Yes, I repeat. Malric studies my face, searching. Did Solyn's command trouble you? This is it, the edge of the blade. I choose my words with care. The vision was fragmented. The light flickered. I believe the divine stream may be compromised. Not a lie. Not the whole truth. Malric's brow furrows, not in concern, but in something closer to interest. That is a serious assertion. I would not make it lightly. Of course not. He turns away again, pacing. You see, Sir Caelan, the Oracle has become problematic. There it is. She speaks too freely. Malric continues, of interpretation, of moral weight, of choice. These concepts unsettle paladins who rely on clarity. I clench my jaw. With respect, High Justicar, the Oracle has always guided us in matters of conscience. Yes, he agrees softly, and conscience is precisely where corruption takes root. I force myself to breathe. Your mission, Malric says, stopping once more, is to travel to Emberfall and assess the situation. Determine whether the Oracle's visions remain pure, or whether external interference has compromised her. Assess, such a gentle word. And if I find evidence of corruption, I ask. Malric meets my gaze. Then you will act in accordance with tribunal doctrine. My stomach twists. I will assign you a small detachment, he continues. Trusted, loyal, but first, the doors open behind me. I do not need to turn to know who it is. High Justicar. Merrin's voice cuts in, sharp and clear. You summon Sir Caelan without his second. Malric's lips curve faintly. Sister Merrin Voss, how conscientious of you. I turn as she approaches, her ash-blonde hair pulled back tight, her armor bearing the marks of long use. Her left gauntlet, the one she never replaces, is visibly cracked, the metal split along the knuckles from some old battle she refuses to explain. Her eyes flick to me, searching. I give the smallest possible nod. Sir Caelan's missions often require my support, she says evenly. I assumed this was no different. Malric regards her thoughtfully. Your assumption is correct. In fact, I was just about to suggest that you accompany him. My breath catches. Merrin does not react outwardly, but I know her well enough to see the tension coil beneath her calm. You will serve as his second in command, Malric continues. Your record speaks for itself. Thank you, High Justicar, she replies, bowing slightly. Malric gestures toward the doors. You will depart by midday. Emberfall awaits. Dismissal. We leave together in silence, our footsteps echoing down the long corridor. Only when we turn a corner out of sight of the hall does Myron grab my arm and pull me into an alcove. What did he say? She demands under her breath. He knows something is wrong, I whisper back. But not everything. Or he suspects and is choosing his angle. Merrin exhales sharply. That man always chooses his angle. I meet her gaze. He framed it as an investigation. And you don't believe him? No. She nods grimly. Neither do I. For a moment, neither of us speaks. The weight of the mission settles over us like a gathering storm. Caelan, she says quietly, did he give you further instructions? I hesitate. Her eyes narrow. Caelan, he expects me to act if the Oracle is deemed compromised, I admit. Merrin's jaw tightens, and by act he means, I know what he means. Silence stretches again. Finally, she straightens. Then we need to be very careful about what we find, and what we report. Yes, and who we bring with us. I frown. What do you mean? She glances down the corridor, then back at me. If this mission goes wrong, if the tribunal decides you're compromised, you'll need people who can think independently, not just obedient swords. I consider that. The idea feels dangerous. It also feels necessary. You're suggesting we choose our own party, I say slowly. I'm suggesting she replies, that if the gods themselves are divided, blind obedience will get us all killed. I cannot argue with that. By midday, preparations underway. Supplies are gathered, travel papers stamped, horses saddled in the outer courtyard. The official mission brief is brief enough to be insulting. Investigate the Oracle of Emberfall. Assess purity of divine channel. Report findings. No mention of execution, yet the word echoes in my mind regardless. As Marin and I oversee the final arrangements, a familiar unease settles over me. This feels too clean, too controlled, like a blade wrapped in velvet. We are not being sent to discover the truth. We are being sent to confirm a narrative. Caelan, I turn to find Marin watching me closely. You're drifting, just thinking, I say. Dangerous habit, she mutters. Then more seriously, there's something you should know. I arch a brow. Now? Yes, now. She lowers her voice. I never told you the full truth about my vision. My chest tightens. Marin, I know, she interrupts, but if we're doing this, if we're stepping outside the lines, I won't do it with half-secrets. I nod once. Tell me. She takes a steadying breath. When I refused the command I heard, something spoke again. My heart stutters. Solyn? She shakes her head. No, something else. Quieter, almost relieved. What did it say? Her gaze drifts, unfocused. You chose. A chill runs through me. Since then, she continues, I've felt it. Not a voice. More like a presence at the edge of thought. Waiting. I think of the flickering light, the warped echo, the silence afterward. You're not alone, I say softly. She meets my eyes. Neither are you. The horns sound shortly after, a clear call signaling departure. Our horses are led forward. The gates of the Radiant Tribunal stand open, the city of Dawnspear stretching beyond in orderly rings. As I swing into the saddle, I look back once more at the 7 spires rising behind us, their flames burning bright against the midday sky. For the first time in my life, they do not feel like beacons. They feel like watchtowers. We ride, and as the marble walls recede behind us, I cannot shake the certainty settling deep in my bones. This mission will not end the way the tribunal expects, because I am no longer certain the voice guiding us belongs to a god, and I am no longer willing to obey a lie.